This is Daily Dose of Daryl entitled Kickstarter. In fact, as we begin this year together, 2021, I'm going to do a series of Kickstarters for the first week or so. And these are things that I wrote down and posted back in my 30s when I was training for the Olympics. And I have found throughout the ages, down through the years, that they're very helpful in all areas of life. So I'm happy to share them with you. Hope you can use them. This is Kickstarter number 3. The difference between doing something good and doing something great is attention to detail. Many people don't realize how important that is in life, whether it's a very small project or a very large project, like founding a fraternity at a major university, or developing parade floats, or setting up a community program, writing a book, learning a different event in sports, responding to earthquakes, or recycling paper, working with a major corporation to develop a film, working with young people for events, or setting up programs, or simply building or training others, or raising $1 million for hunger, down to the smallest detail, going around the world, setting up appointments around the world to honor people, to entertain people, to recognize people, whatever it might be, even down to dealing with a death in a family and a funeral. The real key is paying attention to the details. Makes it so much better. To do that, we must learn to observe what works, observe the responses that we get from different types of efforts, observe the patterns that develop. And so observation is important, and then testing. I'd much rather tell a joke in the locker room to 2 people to see if they laugh than to try out a new joke on stage in front of 5,000 people. And so learn to test the types of things you're working on in your life, and be willing then to evaluate them. And as you evaluate them, you learn to adjust to the different efforts that are being made. You learn to add new things that are needed, or adapt to the results that you find. So this process of observing, testing, and evaluating is so important. Adjusting is extremely important. So many people are inflexible, just have their mind made up about life and aren't willing to adjust. God comes to us in many new, fresh ways every day, and learning to adjust is so important. It's a part of God's plan. And then being willing to add new things. Some people will not change their mind about anything, whether it's social things that are taking place, whether it's the scriptures, whether it's their evaluation. God is unable to crack through to some people to even give them some new ideas. And when we see results, sometimes we just aren't willing to adapt to those results. And it can be very important in medicine. It can be important in driving a car down the road. So many things in life, these principles apply to every time. But in order to pay attention to the details, it takes extra time. I've heard that you need to sometimes be willing to work while other people are sleeping, to put in the extra time, and being willing to give up some time to make sure it turns out really well, whatever your project is, and giving some extra study. Most people just kind of wing it on what they've always known, but you continue. It's a lifelong process of studying and gaining not only new knowledge, but also allowing God to add the wisdom. So I encourage everyone to incorporate extra study. And that all of that, it requires extra energy. Taking care of yourself, eating properly, getting the right exercise, making sure your mindset is right so you're positive. My blood type's B positive. That's a constant reminder that no matter what happens, we must learn that. And then flexibility. In throwing a javelin, I used to do a lot of stretching, and then the YMCA had me teach a class on flexibility. That's important for our bodies, particularly when they get older, but it's more important for our life, that we learn some flexibility, like expansion cracks in concrete. So We must learn to be able to see. We must be able to see what's there and what's not there. It's important to see the final product, whatever it might be in our minds, what we're shooting for, and begin to see the process that will take us there. So, this Daily Dose of Daryl, this Kickstarter number 3, is a reminder to allow God to give you the vision, the purpose, your goal in life, what you're all about, and be willing to pay attention to the details so it won't be just a good ride, it'll be a great ride for you, and it'll be a great ride for others. My contact information is there, of course. Feel free to contact me, and may God bless you every day.